Thank you very much, Chief Secretary. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of the ministers who are here today. Dr. Mombeshora, the Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Kambamura, the Minister of Mines and Mining Development. We have Honorable Professor Murwira, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade. Then we also have Honorable Zhemu, Minister of Energy and Power Development. We also have the Deputy Minister from the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services. We have the Permanent Secretary from Information, Publicity, Broadcasting Services, senior government officials here present, members of the Fourth Estate. Today, the 17th of February 2026, His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa chaired the second cabinet meeting for the year, and the following issues, among others, were considered and approved. Cabinet received a report on the seasonal diseases risks, urgent vaccine deployment, and proposed contingency funding. The country has experienced sporadic and isolated outbreaks of waterborne diseases typically associated with the rain season. Although no major outbreaks have been officially declared, risks remain elevated due to current weather conditions, population movements, and increased strain on water and sanitation infrastructure. In response, the government of Zimbabwe has intensified its preparedness efforts by conducting comprehensive risk and hazard mapping, enhancing alertness among response agencies, and expanding public health communication initiatives. The measures aim to prevent isolated cases from developing into large-scale outbreaks and to reduce undue pressure on the healthcare system. Additionally, Cabinet has approved a contingency fund to support the Ministry of Health and Child Care's preparedness and early response activities for seasonal disease outbreaks. Furthermore, the multi-sectorial approach involving relevant ministries, local authorities, and agencies responsible for water and sanitation, local government, transportation, education, environment, and social services will be strengthened in order to enhance prevention, improve preparedness, and facilitate rapid response during the 2026 rain season. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health and Child Care has commenced the process of developing a new national health strategy in line with the National Development Strategy 2. The new national health strategy will harness and ring-fence all possible health financing, including the National Health Insurance Scheme. All stakeholders are urged to participate in the consultations. The 2026 edition of the Southern Africa Development Community Sustainable Energy Week is scheduled to take place at the Elephant Hills Resort in Victoria Falls from the 23rd to the 27th of February 2026. The event will be held under the theme, and I quote, "Driving Regional Economic Growth Through Clean Energy and Energy Efficiency," close quotes. This SSEW will serve as a platform to bring together diverse stakeholders in the energy sector, including regional institutions, government agencies, private sector players, academia, and development partners. An estimated 500 delegates from around the world are expected to participate in the event. The conference will be distinguished by the presence of high-profile dignitaries, including the SADC Executive Secretary, African Union commissioners, presidents of the Africa Energy Week, and leaders from prominent organizations. Hosting this prestigious event provides significant advantages for the government of Zimbabwe and its various sectors. These benefits encompass stimulating economic growth through heightened tourism and hospitality activities, attracting new investments and business prospects, strengthening regional leadership and visibility, facilitating knowledge exchange and capacitating development, and fostering strategic diplomatic partnerships and re-engagement initiatives. The SADC Sustainable Energy Week program, along with side events, will feature parallel sessions during the first 2 days. The official opening ceremony is scheduled for the third day and will be officiated by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. His Excellency is also expected to tour exhibition stands and deliver a keynote address. The conference sessions will continue on the fourth day, while the fifth day will be dedicated to site visits on energy projects in the morning, followed by excursions in the afternoon. Cabinet also considered and approved the Memorandum of Understanding between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the Republic of Tajikistan on cooperation in the field of geological studies. The Memorandum of Understanding seeks to expand and deepen the scientific and industrial ties between the parties and creating a favorable environment for cooperation and development of scientific and technical cooperation in geological studies. The parties will cooperate through the following. Number one, exchange of ideas, information, experiences, technologies, exchange of scientists and specialists. Number two, conducting joint workshops, scientific conferences and meetings, preparations and capacity building of specialists. Number three, provision of joint research projects. The fourth area is conducting geological prospecting works and the use of modern technologies for development of geological maps. And the fifth area will be other mutually agreed forms of scientific and technological cooperation. His Excellency the President led the Zimbabwean delegation which attended the 13th World Governments Summit from the 3rd to the 5th of February 2026 in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. The summit was held under the theme, and I quote, "Shaping Future Governments," close quote. The objectives of the visit were to position Zimbabwe as a friendly, stable, and ready partner for global cooperation and integration by promoting the doctrine of being a friend to all and an enemy to none, as well as emphasizing that Zimbabwe is open for business. Additionally, the visit aimed to establish Zimbabwe as a premier destination for investment and tourism, and to showcase the country's readiness to provide global leadership in preparation for the United Nations Security Council non-permanent seat elections scheduled for June this year. Furthermore, the visit sought to strengthen and deepen cooperation at bilateral, regional, and international levels. The summit also increased the prospects of Zimbabwe securing the United Nations Security Council seat and resulted in the signing of an addendum extending the Memorandum of Understanding on the Government Experience Exchange Program. Cabinet received and approved the report on the 39th African Union Summit held from the 14th to the 15th of February 2026 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, as presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade. His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa's attendance at both the 39th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of the African Union of Heads of States and Governments and the 35th Ordinary Session of the African Peer Review Mechanism Forum was instrumental in advancing the country's engagement and re-engagement strategic thrust. Zimbabwe successfully contributed best practices and secured the re-election of its own candidate, Mrs. Eni Musiwa, to the African Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, a key African Union organ. It is noteworthy that the APRM Forum commended Zimbabwe for the following best practices, among others. Number one, Zimbabwe's transformative leadership. Number two, performance contracting. Thirdly, heritage-based education 5.0 and the monetary policy. The achievement underscored Zimbabwe's capacity to build consensus within the region, thereby ensuring that Southern Africa continues to play an inclusive and influential role in shaping continental human rights governance. The goodwill generated from Zimbabwe's diplomatic exploits, namely the successful lobbying for a resolution condemning unilateral coercive measures and sanctions, will advance its bid to host the 9th African Union mid-year coordinating meeting in 2027. I thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Rumbi, for those questions. Yes, the contingent plant fund that we have asked for is 4.5 million United States dollars. It will cover quite a number of things, from procurement of relevant commodities. Right now, our stocks are low in terms of tablets for treating water. We are also low on some commodities like intravenous fluids and a few medications that are required for the treatment of cholera. It is also going to cover in terms of publicity, awareness in the communities, so it's not really going to be deployed to all the provinces. We have mapped out high-risk areas, and the concentration will be on those high-risk areas, not throughout the country as such. So those are some of the areas. I really can't itemize item by item. We have got a very big document which is itemizing how that money is going to be utilized. Thank you on that one. Then on the national health strategy, we started working on it yesterday. This is to align it with the NDS 2. Remember, we had NDS 1 and we had our national health strategy, which ended up in 2025. Now the new national health strategy is from 2026 to 2030. Really, on financing, it is also going to enhance the ring fencing of all health levies, all the finances, the taxes that are targeted at raising money to support the healthcare system. The national health insurance is not specifically for strengthening systems throughout. The national health insurance scheme is to provide universal health coverage so that every citizen of Zimbabwe can access health services without out-of-pocket payments. So the money will be used to strengthen A, the consultations, 2, the investigations and the treatment of diseases in our health institutions. It's not money that is intended to strengthen our surveillance or to strengthen our health education, say in primary health care. We still expect money from the budget to cover those areas. So the National Health Insurance Scheme is mainly to make sure that everyone can access health services in our institutions. I thank you.
You know, we are going to hold the elections on the 3rd of June 2026. And the strategy that Zimbabwe has pursued, first of all, is to make sure that His Excellency launches our bid, and His Excellency, for every trip that he makes or every visit that he makes, he is talking about our bid. Wherever he sends his foreign minister, we are talking about the bid. So what is the mathematics? One, SADC endorsed us, and then we were endorsed by the African Union, which means we have 54 votes in that regard. Our focus now is outside of Africa. That's why we were talking about our bid in Dubai. And what we talk about with other African countries is to influence their friends outside of Africa. So what we have so far mathematically is that we have had bilateral support agreements with over 80 countries outside of Africa. It means by simple math, we are over 120 already, maybe 130 plus that we have in terms of the support. But we are still working because our issue is we want as many countries to vote for Zimbabwe as possible. Why? Because Zimbabwe is a stable country that always wants to be a friend to all and an enemy to none, that wants to foster peace across the globe with its peace-building efforts in the region as well as worldwide. You could have heard a lot of or seen a lot of clips from His Excellency the President reaffirming this position of Zimbabwe. That's why we think that Zimbabwe stands a very good chance on the 3rd of June 2026 of landing this non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. His Excellency the President's foreign policy is very clear. First of all, our first pillar is to make sure that we cultivate a peaceful global environment for Zimbabwe's prosperity. Under this peaceful environment for Zimbabwe's global prosperity, we will be looking at the issues of trade, the issues of tourism, issues of scientific exchange, issues of protecting our citizens from all across the world. All these are peaceful objectives. And we believe that's why over 80 countries outside of Africa and why all of Africa is supporting Zimbabwe's bid. So the math tells me that at the moment we are above 130. We are still going up. I thank you.
In some cases, I have visited some farms where they have gone off-grid just by using biogas. And they can now use it for their electricity, for lighting, they can use it for welding. And the farms that I visited are fully off-grid, just using biogas. So this is an area that we are supporting, but we are also encouraging Zimbabweans to be engaged in. We have a desire to electrify every primary and secondary school by this year. And I've been given the numbers that we have targeted right now. As I said, as of last year, of the secondary schools, we were at 82% rural schools being electrified. And in the urban areas, they are all electrified. And we hope to reach 100%. Of the primary schools, we are still a little bit far at 71, 72%. And we expect also that this will be fully electrified. Of the clinics, we are at 94%, and we expect to finalize this year. Now, once I've said that, the use of clean energy by all those schools, 11,000 of them, of clinics and schools, that means they are moving away from using our firewood for cooking. Think of all the teachers in the rural areas, all the
nurses in the rural areas. We take them out of looking for firewood, and they are now using clean energy. That will be a huge addition to their well-being, which will be the same as those in the urban areas. So we are encouraging not just the government to do it, we are encouraging Zimbabweans to do it, because this is the way to go. And we want to, by 2030, as we reach our vision 2030, as pronounced by the president, to have moved significantly to make sure that Zimbabwe becomes wholly clean energy supported. I thank you.